So today's session is about the self, and there is no other person to talk about when you talk about the self is Ramana Maharishi. So he's very famous for his enquiry of self. He calls self-enquiry. Who am I? And his one of his little booklet is even called as Who Am I? It's very famous. And there are some anecdotes where they say that there will be devotees coming from all over the world, from like all over India, and then coming and telling, oh, I have this problem, and I'm struggling with this and this and this and so on. And then Ramana Maharishi will give a little smile and almost mischievously ask, oh, who is having that problem? So it's very known that he's always asking people to ask this question. When you say, I am having this problem, I am having this, who is having this problem? So today let's start with the idea of self. So that's the main credit. But since we had a 2-week break, and we are talking about happiness. That's something which we should not forget. The book has 2 parts, happiness and self, and then we are trying to find the relationship between the two. So on the happiness front, we started with the sky and clouds analogy, and then we said that all of these clouds are like the various emotions which we have. And then we discussed happiness as an emotion first. And then we saw, some of the things are the pleasure is one type of happiness, engaged life, which is flow, and then the meaningful life, which involves virtue and working for a cause which is bigger than ourselves, like composting and whatever. I mean, all of this is good. So all of this provides the happiness. But then we wanted to go a little bit deeper and say, okay, what is happening here? So then we looked at the idea of moods. Moods is, we said, moods is one layer behind the emotions. And then there are 2 key distinctions which we made with regards to the moods. And then we used the analogy of Dilwale Dulhaniya, where we had Raj and Simran. Both of them were going to the Europe trip and more or less the same kind of external circumstances. But then they were experiencing the situation a little differently. And then we said, Simran already knows that she is engaged, she's going to be married to someone else. So she was always bringing that into that relationship, whereas Raj was like free and so what mood we defined as something which we bring into the situation. And then welcome back, Vishji and Jyoti ji. So we were just having an intro, kind of a summary of the previous session, and then we talked about happiness as an emotion with all these flow and meaning and so on. And then we moved on to the idea of moods. In the moods we said, it's something which we bring to the situation of how we look at life, rather than what is only at the external situation. And then in the last session, we started to look at deeper into the moods. Can we say more about the moods? And then we saw that, every time there is a mood, it has something to do with the self. So I think you were not there. Okay, so this was the crucial part. I think in such a way, maybe I will talk a little bit about it. So when we have a mood of, let's say we are fearful, anxious mood, there's something in the background which is going on. But then if you look at it, there's always, I am in danger. There is a self-related idea which is coloring that mood. Or if you look at I am or depression or sadness as the predominant mood, then there might be like I am worthless or I am unlovable. This kind of a background thing. it may be unconscious, but there is something in the background which is causing to color our experience for it. So that's why the same external experience for one person might be like, or where we discussed in the analogy, Raj and Simran were experiencing the same external situation, whereas Simran had this, that she knew that she was going to marry to somebody else, and then that anxiety, a little bit of that was already coloring her whole time in the Europe trip, as an example. So this relationship between self and the, but then now today what we want to do is, we want to go a little bit deeper and ask, what is the self? Like, so that's and I was just telling them how Ramana Maharishi, usually when devotees come and talk to him and say, oh, I have this problem, I have that problem, I've been struggling with this, and then he will mischievously smile and ask, who is having this problem? So he always emphasized the idea of,
you are not the body.
You're not, he asking you to find out who you are. So of course, then the analysis comes. Okay. So then maybe today can we just read the things starting. Let's put it a bit like this for a while.
What is the self? All of us have a deep, unmistakable sense that I exist. It is so fundamental that we rarely stop to question what it actually means. In daily life, we typically equate the self with our body and mind, the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, the roles we play, and the stories we carry. This body-mind system changes over time, and we often assume that we change with it. That this is who we are.
I think maybe continue a bit more.
But Advaita Vedanta offers a counterintuitive and radical perspective. It says, you are not the body, not the mind, not even your personal story. You are not merely the subject reacting to the world of objects. Rather, you are the awareness in which both subject and object manifest. Your true self is not limited, separate, or changing. It is the open, conscious space in which all experiences unfold. For example, continue?
Yeah.
For example, when we say things like I love music or I'm afraid of failing, we are reinforcing the idea that there is a subject engaging with an object, music, which is failure. However, according to Advaita, this separation between subject and object is not ultimate. It is a mental habit, a lens we have grown to use to. In reality, the one who experiences and what is experienced arise in a single undivided field of awareness, and that awareness, that is you, yourself. If this feels abstract or hard to grasp, that is okay. It is. The idea that we are not our body or mind, but the awareness in which the body, mind manifests, can feel deeply unfamiliar at first. That is why a separate chapter, referred to chapter 2, is dedicated to unpacking this idea of the self in detail.
So, I mean, this is a very, very crucial thing. So that's why I wrote even that if it is not very clear, it doesn't matter. We might even understand it intellectually, but this will keep going back and forth. So, the most radical claim, this is the most radical claim of Advaita Vedanta, where it says that the self is not the body, not the mind, not the roles which we play. I mean, it's not telling, oh, you're not all of this at all. It's like we are trying to peel the onion, so to speak, and come to the core of, or essentially who you are. What is it which cannot be taken away from you? So there, the question comes, hey, if I take out all that is so-called non-essential, we will discuss what is non-essential. Of course, it is essential that I am a mother. For the moment, if you take out every role that we play, everything else, there is something which still remains. And the Advaitic claim is you are that which is aware of all of this. You are the witness of the Sakshi Bhav in which all of this is happening. So this is a very radically different way to look at things.
So before we go, perhaps we can talk a little bit more about what is awareness and how do you realize awareness?
Yes, that is the whole thing about this whole, not only this book, but the entire Upanishads, the Vedas is all about that. Upanishads, not the Vedas, is about what is awareness and how do we realize it. So the chapter 2 is very specifically dedicated to understanding what is awareness. But we need to understand, right? But it's a good to start and think about it. So in our sky and clouds analogy, which we have been doing for a few weeks now, imagine the sky, the blue sky, in which there are various clouds appearing. So the various clouds are like our roles, our body, our personality, and so on. But the unchanging sky is the awareness. As an analogy. Or to take our second analogy of DDLJ, Shah Rukh Khan is playing the role of Raj. Shah Rukh, in this case, this is a limited analogy. Shah Rukh Khan is the real self, all awareness. Whereas Raj is the clouds. Raj and whatever Raj does in the movie actually has nothing to do with Shah Rukh Khan. But we discussed, are you getting this point? But we discussed that, Shah Rukh Khan's life gets colored by what Raj does. So he may not be able to give up all his romantic and other things which he does in the movie, and he will take it back to his life. But we can ask, is that, it might happen, but would his wife and children agree if he starts behaving like Raj? I mean, they'll say, hey, maybe there is something.
You're not being yourself.
You're not being yourself, they'll say, right? That's a very good way to put it. So the claim in Advaita Vedanta is, we are all actually behaving like a Shah Rukh Khan who has forgotten that he is Shah Rukh Khan, but he's playing the role of Raj in the life. Is that coming out clearly?
Yeah.
You're saying we're forgetting our own selves.
Yes, we
In
have forgotten.
order to play the various roles.
Yes, so that is the claim. So I'm just using Shah Rukh Khan as a.
Because the roles consume us and they define us. We have learned to define ourselves in the various roles.
Correct. So that's why if you look at the first sentence I wrote is all of us have a deep, unmistakable sense that I exist. That's true, right? That's very real. The fact that we exist is real. Hey, nobody doubts that. And this is what the even Descartes, the famous cogito ergo sum, is I think, therefore I am. So he was trying to see what is it that about me that I can not deny. So you cannot. So this is a very, very, very subtle thing, but maybe it's good to spend some time. Can you deny that there is impossible that you are in a dream right now? You cannot deny that, right? Even let's say, for example, if you are in a dream, and when you are dreaming, you have no idea that it is a dream. Everything around you feels as though everything is real. But the moment you wake up, you realize it's all gone. Where is my role as a father in the dream, and somebody being chasing me in the dream? All this is gone. So similarly, so Descartes asked himself this question. So let us assume that there is an evil demon which is fooling us to make us think that we are this body, mind, and so on. He just doubts everything which can be doubted. It's a subtle concept, but just remove everything which you could potentially be wrong about. You could be potentially wrong about everything except one thing, that you exist. Even if you're dreaming, you exist. Yes.
Who's this guy who said, I think, therefore I am?
Descartes. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Agree. But I feel I am, even if I'm not thinking.
Yes. That's why in Advaita Vedanta, Swami Sarvapriyananda corrects him to say that, oh, I am, therefore I think. So I just used, I think, therefore I am, because that's a more popular way of saying, but you're absolutely right, you really hit the nail there. It's first is I am.
I am.
Before even I think. Yeah, thinking is itself, you can be wrong about thinking, but you cannot be wrong about
I am.
I am. Absolutely right. So this part is clear.
Yeah.
So it's not that we should not think we are a parent or as a child or as whatever profession we are in. But here we are just trying to peel the onion, so to speak, to remove everything that is not essential to get to the core of who we are. And then later on we will talk about integrating everything back. So it's not, so don't worry, we will not let go of all of this. We are just temporarily letting go of all of this, just for clarity. So but Advaita Vedanta offers a counterintuitive and radical perspective. It says you are not the body, not the mind, not even your personal story. You are not merely the subject reacting to a world of objects. Subject means like a person, and reacting to objects. Rather, you are the awareness in which both the subject and object manifest. The true self is not limited, separate, or changing. It is the open, conscious space in which all experiences unfold. This is not just my claim. It is, I'm just, explaining what Advaita Vedanta says. So it has got a very thousands of years of thinking around this. So, is this analogy with Shah Rukh Khan and Raj clear? Anything to? Or you can bring it to your own life. We are playing several roles, each one of us. But there is something which is in our core that we are. We can take out all of these roles, but we still are.
Another way of saying it is there is something which does not change.
Yes.
In us. I am.
Mm-hmm.
Transcends all the roles that I play.
Yes, you are as a, like say, a 5-year-old to a youth, old age, is the same I. Has our experience of the core I ever changed? Our thoughts around it have changed. Our feelings have changed. All this is continuously changing, but our core I
On the
has.
other hand, all your experiences actually make a difference to that I. So you evolve based on your experiences.
Mhm.
So
Is
rather
that
than-
really true?
Doesn't
Can you
make a
think about it?
difference. It just adds a layer of
To your-
again Maya. I guess is the closest, you know.
No, oh yeah, Maya. It's right, absolutely right, Maya. But let's just look at our experience. But you were telling it very nicely. You were adding
Another layer.
हाँ. So
ये
it's
मतलब
like a
जैसे जब
different
शादी
range.
नहीं हुई थी तो you were a bachelor, पर शादी हो गई तो you became a husband. अब husband के experiences आ गए. Then another, but you became a father. So
But that
you
I
just
doesn't
keep,
evolve.
but वो जो core है जब you know where you
That core I, if you take an onion, think of an onion. It's not
nothing.
that I doesn't change. I does change based on the experiences, how you evolved and everything.
No.
Because you were not, that was not there. When you were born,
No, no,
you were a different person.
No.
No, you want a person.
You
at
want a
all.
person at all.
Whatever you were,
You were just awareness at that
That's
time.
all.
So
You're
this-
always, you continue. That I doesn't change.
Because we are so embroiled in the experiences.
Experiences, we think it's
Experiences were
changed.
I.
Yeah,
They were
but we are not changing.
I know it's a very counterintuitive.
Since it's a formless.
it's a little bit difficult because,
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, not that everybody was same. When you were born, you were
No,
different. You were different.
who
But
is
then
that?
as you evolved, based on where you were living, what experiences you went through, you changed.
So that's what they're saying, that Atma doesn't change. That shape, that's something that does not have a shape or a form.
I think it's
Is it
again we are getting a little confused with the body, where the body
Yeah.
was born.
Yeah, that's okay.
The parents we
let
were
let the
born.
discussion go on.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm also
Yes.
just
No,
trying to understand myself. It's really that I guess yeah we.
For me, it's the same I that when I was a 5-year-old is the same I as I am now. That hasn't changed. I am. There's nothing more. There's no qualification more than what you say is I am. There's nothing more than that. I can only say I am when I was 5 years old. I still say I am at the age of 66.
that I is different than I which I think I am. now.
Are you talking about the
Yeah,
body?
beautiful, beautiful.
I
What did you
think
just say?
That I is different. So
From?
maybe
No, different from.
different from.
what I am now.
What?
No, you said
You
I
don't
think.
want to think.
I think.
Yeah.
It's you.
Your
that
thoughts.
awareness, that awareness which I have developed
Anything different from
over a
that.
period of time based on my experiences, my journey of life, is very different from what I was as a young boy.
How is it? No, it's all the experiences that are different. But how does it change the I?
So that is where we need to actually put a definition on that I.
Correct.
That I,
That's what we are
maybe we are talking is Atma. Atma doesn't change.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's exactly what we are talking about Atma. You are the Atma. That is the claim.
That I is the I. At least that
Gives
is
a
my.
comfort to
But
the
I am talking about the subject matter,
Form.
not the Atma.
No, but here self-awareness is, awareness what we are referring is Atma.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've kind of moved
That's
to that
the
point
style.
where we're talking about that I am, which doesn't change.
So then we should be very clear what we are talking about.
Yes.
Is it Atma or is it the subject matter?
No,
No, we
we
never
are
If it is subject
talking,
matter, then subject matter evolves.
All the contents change. That means like who you are, who you think you are, things, thoughts are all content. Emotions are all content.
so this is very interesting because when we are talking about having to know self-awareness, which we don't know. We know the different roles we've been playing from 1 year old onwards, or maybe
Yes.
6 months old onwards. But the awareness is what we need to know. What is awareness? The I of the awareness we need to know. I think that's what we are
Yes.
finding to know.
That's
Which
where
none
we-
of us know.
Yeah.
No, it's
So you keep peeling, but the deep inside awareness, which is the same from beginning to end, and which always we will be continuing further, is what we need to know.
yes. And we will talk about what that awareness is more in the second chapter.
Correct.
Whether there are many infinite number of awareness, such awareness, or there is only one. So these things we will discuss more in
तो
detail.
उसको awareness कहो चाहे आत्मा कहो या whatever you want to call, like a सूक्ष्म कर्ण, or whatever you want to call it.
And
You
the
can't
first
use-
layer is always added by what people point out. Like when you're a child, when you don't know anything, the first layer is always what people, it's not your own thought. Your mother tells you, you are Shifali. तुम शिफाली हो, तुम क्या खाओगे, तुमको ये अच्छा लगे. It's all
Yeah.
coming from outside.
So condition, na? Condition पे condition.
Or another simpler example to think would be light A,
Yeah.
light B,
Electricity.
light C. Each of them will call themselves as light A, light B, and light C. But ultimately, the room is lit, and there is only one source
Electricity.
for this, which is electricity.
Same sky and clouds.
Yeah.
Stars, moon, clouds, whatever.
I
But
think your
sky.
line sums it very nicely. You are the awareness with both subject and object.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he
So it's
said.
like a canvas where everything is painted. Okay.
But it is not easy to. I mean, it is easy to intellectually grasp,
Right.
but because we have been conditioned so much to think that we are our
Unlearning is very
roles and
tough.
bodies, and this unlearning is it's a difficult task. I mean, of course, we can do it through. First is like we are using two tools. One is
Reading.
systematically reflecting, reasoning to see, okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe you don't have to agree right now. And then the meditations which we do is like more like polishing. Okay, now let's take a step back, relax, and see our experience, how things work, to see whether what we have discussed is true or not. Ultimately, nothing should be just a theory. It has to manifest in your own experience.
I want to give an example of how identified we become. So actually ever since we went to Delhi, I've had this toothache. Terrible toothache, obviously infection. Then I took antibiotics, it went away. Came back, it again came. And I was so identified with the toothache that I forgot all my other roles. I was not a mother, I was not a wife, I was no one. I was just a toothache.
Yes.
That's what I was. मेरे को सोचने में मुश्किल हो रही थी कि आगे कौन क्या खाएगा, कौन how everybody is.
So if
I couldn't be bothered.
If Ramana Maharishi told you that who's having the toothache, you
At that point,
Give him a slap.
at that point, I
having the
said,
toothache.
just disappear.
I forgot.
Pain is very
Yeah.
difficult
Yes.
to separate from.
Correct. So it reduces our bandwidth to such a minimum that we will not be able to take this step back. So our
I think
awareness
the mind is consumed completely.
yes.
There was thoughts disappeared, but the toothache remained.
Yeah, it is the same. Like when we talk about flow experiences, like here talking about toothache, it consumed you. But in flow experiences, like somebody is, let's say, playing tennis, like we were talking about Roger Federer and so on. He's so consumed by that moment. There is nothing else. That means there is nothing to feel like, oh, I am having this problem, or I am having So you cannot have ignorance. You cannot be wrong about yourself because you're already fully consumed by that activity. So as long as you are in the flow activity, there is no ignorance, no maya. So you are just fully, and it's totally okay. Same with karma yoga. Like when you are like working for a cause which is bigger than yourself, you may sometimes reflect back, what am I doing? But when you are actually doing the whatever work you are doing, you're fully engaged with it. So there is no you there to know avidya. Just using these words a little bit. No maya, no ignorance, and then it is fine. Let's just bring it back to this idea of, this is a little distraction, but it was a good thing. But the idea is, okay, we're now getting to the bare self, the bare awareness in which all of this is happening. So that is the idea of self. And then we are going to discuss a whole chapter more about this. So please hold all your comments, we will discuss. So now one more thing which I want to do before we go into the meditation today is to say that, okay, this is like Advaita Vedanta. This is like coming from our Upanishads. So all this seems, okay, great. This is like, oh, all the Indians and Buddhists thought about it, but you know what, in West we have a different idea. So why do you think this is universal? So I brought two Western figures who have thought about this to bring an idea of how they think. One is this Abraham Maslow. I think all of us are relatively familiar with him. So he had this hierarchy of needs. So if you go with what Neeraj ji said, the peeling the onion. So his idea was this: each one of us has the basic needs, like for physical safety and security. So this comes first. Toothache. So if there is something which is bothering you so much, you cannot rise in the. And then he said the second in the hierarchy is more like safety and security needs. One is physical needs. The other one is like if there's a war going on, or you feel insecure about some things and so on. Then he brought the idea of being in a group, love needs. Love and belonging. So whether it's a family, it could be a community. These are the third, he said. So these things consume us, which is also true, right? If you look at our own selves, okay, if we have enough money and like everything is safe, then we want our friends to like us. We want to be seen as good and all these things. This is the third level. Then actually there is a lot of research now which shows that it's not necessarily hierarchical, but I'm just telling what he was thinking about. And then after that comes the self-esteem needs or achievement needs. Oh, I can accomplish something. Oh, I can explain Advaita Vedanta very well. All of this. This is all true for all of us. We have this need for self-esteem, to feel that we are competent and good. And then he said, oh, the last pinnacle is self-actualization. And then he did not elaborate too much on that, but then it got interpreted as, oh, us being human potential to the maximum. It became like a very generic interpretation of that. Oh, like Mark Zuckerberg might think that he has to make even better software, earn even more money, like Elon Musk wants to go to Mars and space and so on. So self-actualization became like took the form of a single individual and maximizing their potential. But then what is most interesting is Abraham Maslow, maybe I think it's like 2-3 years before he died, he said, no, probably there is something more than self-actualization. And then he came up with this thing called Self Transcendence. It's no longer you, this little I, which is going to maximize yourself, but you have to go beyond yourself.
Right.
So there is some, resonance to the theory of self not being just limited to an individual, but the self is already transcending the self is a possibility, or as is even desirable. I'm just bringing in some Western thoughts on this. Something on the Maslow. And then
is there more on self transcendence? So what does it mean by self transcendence? Transcendence from the identity of the self to what?
Identity of a limited self to beyond that identity. That means I, Raghu, the body mind, is your limited self. So I, Raghu, the body mind, who is a corporate person who would like to make a lot of money, who would whatever, rise in the career to be the CEO and maybe then the board member or whatever. So this is one way of self-actualization. The other one is, hey, is there more to Raghu than just all these roles? Going beyond the body mind is self-transcendence.
The examples that usually Maslow is given for self-transcendence, people like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, thought beyond themselves. These are the examples given for self-actualized and then self-transcendent. Also, there's some element of helping the other, going beyond yourself. That's what I remember from my textbooks.
Yeah. So since we have already read Maslow, who would like to read the part on Carl Jung? It's page 35, starting from Tanya.
Similarly, Carl Jung's concept of individuation parallels the Advaitic journey inwards. Individuation for Jung is the process in which an individual integrates the persona, that is the social mask, and the shadow, which is the repressed unconscious, into a cohesive whole, ultimately encountering the self, a deeper archetypal center of the psyche that transcends the ego. While Jung's self is not identical to the Advaitic self, it serves a similar role as a true ground of being, integrating and transcending the fragmented ego. Jung even described mystical experiences of unity as psychologically healthy and essential to wholeness, acknowledging the deep overlap between Eastern contemplative traditions and modern depth psychology. In both Maslow and Jung, we see a movement away from the ego as the seat of identity towards something more essential, whole, and transpersonal, a view that is remarkably consistent with the Advaitic understanding that the ego is merely a functional overlay of the unchanging self.
Nice. So, just like Maslow, which we discussed, Carl Jung is also a very, we can call it one of the forefathers of clinical psychology, clinical depth psychology. So Carl Jung is very famous for his understanding of our psyche as having two parts. I mean, I'm just very simplifying. He has got like a huge theory on this. One is, he calls it as the persona. The other one is the shadow. Nothing complex, but I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible. Persona is what we want to project to the world as ourself.
Social mask.
Social mask, exactly. Persona is actually, the word person comes from the persona. Persona means like the mask which we wear. Oh, I am a truthful person. I am always calm. All of these are things which we want to
The role
to
could
project.
also be a mask. Right now you are wearing the mask of a writer.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit, but that one is a more conscious one. But persona is like what we want to project. It's a little bit, it can be unconscious also. Oh, I'm like, a lot of people will have thoughts like, I'm like always just. I'm always honest.
Yeah.
But then like if you look a little bit deeper, the person will be pathological liar. But so they don't even know that. But this is what you want to project. That's a persona is what you want to project.
Okay.
But that may not be the
The
reality. And then there is something called as the shadow. It is what you don't want people to see. Like what we think as dirty or like blasphemy. It might have come from very, very many social conditioning and so on. But there are a lot of things which we don't want others to see.
So in a way, it's the opposite of persona.
Correct.
What you want to show, what you don't want to show.
Yeah. From your perspective. But it doesn't mean it doesn't show up. So that is the thing. So Carl Jung is telling that, there is this persona and then there is this shadow. You think you want to present the persona and not show the shadow. But in reality, when in whatever is going on, both of this will have an influence. So the shadow will show up in terms of a sudden outburst, or you will make a insulting remark of somebody, but whereas you want to think that you are a very kind person, but you might make a sudden mean remark. So not that these are wrong or anything, but it just is that he was trying to describe the mechanism. And then Neeraj, you were telling that, oh, all of this is what we are, right? Like in some sense. But these are all parts of the content. And underlying all of this is the self. That's the Advaitic claim. But now if you see what Carl Jung says is, the best psychological development or the most healthy way is what he called as individuation. It's a very a misnomer, but individuation doesn't mean, oh, you become individual. He just calls the part of integrating the persona and the shadow as individuation. That means you kind of shining the light of awareness on these two so that it becomes clear to you, okay, this is what is happening. You don't have to be in judgment of, oh, I'm like, my shadow is bad or persona is good or anything like that. It's just a fact of the matter to see things, then you become more at peace with all the content which is there swirling around in our psyches. So just read that part again. While Jung's self is not identical to the Advaitic self, let's not say that he said exactly the same thing. It serves a similar role as a true ground of being, integrating and transcending the fragmented ego. I mean, our ego, which is fragmented as shadow and persona. Jung even described the mystical experiences of unity as psychologically healthy and essential to wholeness. And he acknowledged the deep overlap between Eastern contemplative traditions and modern depth psychology. So that's the key message. So how much time do we have? Okay. So I think we should stop here. So what we will do is I'll just do a 10-minute, we'll do a 10-minute meditation. And if something which I say in the meditation is not clear, that's okay, because we have a lot more weeks to get clear on it. Just let's sit in a comfortable posture. Close our eyes if it is comfortable. Take a deep breath in. And relax. I invite you to take your stand as the unchanging self. If it is not clear, don't worry. Become aware of the full range of your experience. The sounds of the birds, the weight of our body on the chair, our breath. Notice that you are observing all of these. All of this is happening in you. The awareness. might be some doubts coming in your mind, any thoughts. The content of the thought does not matter for now. Just notice that thoughts arise by themselves. Not only thoughts arise by themselves, they arise in awareness. The sound of the chimes is also arising in awareness. Now become aware of the sounds of the birds. And the weight of your body. By weight of the body, I mean the sensation of your body touching the seat. Both of these are in awareness. We call the birds chirping as an external sound and our body touching the seat as an internal sensation. In our close experience of if you look at our experience closely, both of these arise in awareness. As an experiment, move back and forth between the sensation of your body, which is internal, which we call as internal, and the sound of the aircon, which is constant, but we call as external. Just move back and forth. Now again, become full aware of the full range of our experience without judging. Just let all of them remain as it is. Let's stay here for a couple of minutes. Again, become aware of your breath. The weight of our body touching the chair. The surroundings. Just wiggle your toes and fingers. And when you're ready, at your own time, you open your eyes. Okay, nice. Some reflections. Maybe from Tanya ji first.
I was thinking about the shadow and the persona.
Mhm.
You said that the persona wants to project an image of being very good, but then there are some negative or some sides of you that you're trying to hide. Can you go the other way, that your persona is of a hardline criminal, but there is some goodness that is being suppressed?
Absolutely, yeah. Both are equally possible. So usually, like a hardened criminal would have like kind of already had certain life experiences where he just doesn't care now anymore. He wants to project that I am a hard criminal. So that's the persona, because that's probably has been getting him some good benefits. But then all the good and bad qualities are all there in all of us,
Right.
in some sense. When I say all of us here, I'm referring to, it should be there somewhere. It's there in the awareness, and that's why it's showing up. So to say that, oh, I only have good qualities and no bad qualities is, I think, not right. Because it's just that you have identified certain things well and now you have integrated them well. That's a possibility. To say that, oh, this is, no, I can never be a liar. That's not right. Because, oh, you can be, but you're so aware that you are not.
Right. Thank you.
In the Western philosophy, they never acknowledge that the good and bad can be within you. It's mostly an Eastern concept. Carl Jung, I think, is come to a point where he realized that that shadow, he's called it a shadow and a persona. Is an acknowledgement that all those qualities actually lie, and our scriptures keeps talking about it. You can be an asuric or daivik tendencies. You can have both. And it's all within you. It's how you choose and which path you take, and what is so compelling about certain paths. Some of which are not in your control.
But all our Puranas, if you see, even the biggest demon, in the end will get moksha.
Yeah.
Like if you look at our Bhagavatam, every time we were the most bad guy, but at the end of the day, he will also get moksha.
Ravana,
Yeah.
for that matter.
So we have hope. We have
Not
hope.
as bad as Ravana.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
So, but it is what to say? It is simple. The idea is not too complex. Like if you look at this whole of our Upanishads and Vedas, they were talking about exactly the same thing: who you are and what you want, how you are misidentified who you are, and that's why which is all these problems and so on. It will keep on coming to this, and then this is not even contradictory to the bhakti path. The bhakti path is okay. This understanding is one side of it, but still I am not able to get out of my whatever content is whoever I think I am. So one other option is I am nothing. Like surrender everything who you think you are, good and bad, to the Lord, and then you are taking yourself as nothing. So this is either possible. Both ways are possible. Either you kind of analyze, not analyze, you dig deep, you kind of experientially to understand. Oh, okay, all of this is there in me, but I am not any of this particular thing. This is one way. The other one is all of this, Lord, I give it to you, take it away. You are the source. I am none of this. I am zero. So either you can go to the infinity or you can go to the zero. It's not contradictory at all.
But this awareness that we refer to, which we are all seeking to find out, is it one for all? Is it?
Yes.
You know,
The Advaitic view is yes, there is only one.
So that means we are all made up of the same.
It's the same electricity.
But this persona and shadow, we are also mapping it against a scale of something, isn't it? Like when we say that this is good and I have to project this, that's also something outside which is prompting us to.
Correct. So
This is societal criteria.
Yeah. It's not really coming from really who you are.
Yes.
It's again projecting or suppressing something which you think the world may like or dislike.
So we will in the next sessions do some meditations where we are like the newborn child with zero preconceived notions, and then see how these things could potentially develop. Let's say when you were a little kid, you were always praised for being a good or telling the truth. So you already identified telling the truth is good, lying is bad. So my parent was like, you want the love of the parent, you want to fit into that situation, so you already identified something as good and something as bad. So, and it is very deep seated when it's in a kid, or in a kid in a family which has got some violence and so on, might think that, oh, I just remaining silent is the best strategy. So I'm not going to be the one who is going and interfering in the affairs of the world. Or a kid sometimes will become like a parent very early in life. All of this is possible, but mostly coming from experiences. And then there is this whole theory about, oh, it is not just the experiences of this world, but it is also your previous life and so on. But for this we don't have, these are all things which we have to not take it absolutely true that there is evidence, but there is no logical contradiction to telling that there are multiple lives.
What it ultimately tells you is that, though the awareness is one, each of us, the makeup of each of us is so different, so complex. So therefore the spirit of enquiry, which is what we've started doing, is so important, is find out for yourself who you are, what are the conditions under which you operate, and what are those conditions, so you start observing them. And is there a path out of that to get to that, ultimate awareness? Each one has its own, you mentioned bhakti. Some people will say, I want to first intellectually understand what it's all about, and then move on to, to jnana yoga. But so what works for each person is very different.
I think you had mentioned it somewhere, where I read this whole thing, who am I, is one of the oldest questions human being had, which has still been inquired and looked into.
Yes.
No, because that will always be looked into, because every generation that is coming to that realization and every individual. So this question may never be universally answered because every individual has its own quest.
Yeah, that is a very, very important
Isn't it?
observation. It's not like some scientific thing that, oh, it's
Yeah.
clear, done and dusted. Science has shown
Yeah.
that the sun is the center and earth is revolving and period. Let's say, for example.
Yeah.
Here it's not like that. Each one has to figure it out themselves.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. When human beings evolved and they looked up at the sky and who am I? Where am I coming from? And they look at stars. So it's a question which is there from right from the beginning of our evolution till now. And as we peer into it, everybody has their own thinking.
So this is the, I mean, what I found in Advaita Vedanta is that it has a certain narrative of explaining who you are. And so far I have not found it contradicting anything. I mean, but there are a lot of people who will say, hey, no, this is only one way to look at it, there are other ways to look at it. But that's fine. But when you take it to the limit and see, then there is some contradiction somewhere. Whereas here there was no, so far I have not found one.
Right.
Okay, good.